just introduce everybody. Okay, so we're going to talk today to the Evans family, who are an absolutely amazing family of people, and we're so lucky to have you all here this afternoon to talk to us a little bit about HET, your experiences with HET, and so that we can go through a questionnaire with you, with some of the children. So just to introduce everybody, we've got Nigel and baby Osman, who is the latest addition. Come on, Osman, do we get a smile there? Give me a smile. That's lovely. And we've got Lindsay, and we've got Serafina, who is big sister.
I'm the biggest child.
You are big sister. And we have got Solomon. Hi, Solomon.
That's the biggest size.
Who is the big brother? Yeah.
That's the
And then
biggest size.
we've got Amaris, who looks like a beautiful summer's day today. And the Evans family are rather unique because they are home educators. So we're very, very lucky to have them today, because normally when we're doing HET...
There's a little fairy.
Oh, there's lots of fairies around here. Yeah, we've got lots of them, so thank you for pointing that out to me. Normally, when we are doing a HET consultation, we would have a word with mum and dad or carer and get mum and dad's point of view about how their child is behaving, how they're presenting, and how they would like things to improve in terms of health and well-being. And then we would go and carry that questionnaire out in school again as well, because we know that children present very differently to how they are at home to how they are at school. And you know, coming at this from a teacher's point of view, you know, sometimes you wonder if you're actually talking about the same child. I mean, that would be actually a very interesting thing to start off with. What made you choose to home educate?
Lots of things, really, a big collection of things. The two main things were a mistrust of the education system and feeling that that children aren't valued enough, and that too much emphasis is put upon grades and rather than happiness. But also allergies, because Serafina at the time was allergic to milk and eggs.
I can't have too much egg.
No, still can't have too much egg.
Because she has a little rash there.
That's right. And she went to nursery to settle in for 2 days, and during that time, on both days she was given milk, and on one occasion she came into contact with raw egg. So on both occasions she had an allergy, and so it was just, that was the deciding thing, really. That was, I think, the straw that broke the camel's back. We decided that they wouldn't be able to cope with them on any level, and it was the best decision we've ever made.
Solomon, you've been very polite. Thank you for letting Mummy tell us that. Have you got a question? Have you got something you'd like to say? That was very polite.
Well, not yesterday, but I can't remember. But I had a little bit of egg, so that made my skin go bad. And I tried some egg, and I liked it, didn't I, Mum?
Right. Oh, you're lucky. So you can eat eggs without having the itchy bits. So that's
But
really
I can't.
Okay. So, what made you want to try HET?
Well, as your side of the story, anyway.
I attended a conference when I was working at the Adult Education Service at the time that you did for us. It was like an in-house training session, and you were introducing HET as something that the Adult Education Service could use. But it ticked a lot of boxes for us personally, as regards to help with Solomon, and I just thought, because we'd sort of taken his care away from the medical profession as well, we took it into our own hands because we weren't getting any success with the medical profession. So a lot of the alternative therapies and things.
Because Sol had severe allergies, didn't he, that we couldn't cope with at all, really. But the hospital made the situation 100 times worse by giving him drugs that he was allergic to again. So he was just constantly being topped up with steroids and antibiotics as a precaution, which were creating more and more allergies, until he became so poorly with asthma and eczema that he wasn't expected to live. And it was at that point that we decided not to pay any attention to the doctors and to treat him with something else. And it was shortly after that that we discovered HET.
And
This has just made it move.
the doctor said I would die, but I lived.
You did, and you look so well and so fit and so healthy now. Gosh.
You be careful.
So, do you think that HET has helped you?
No, what's it?
Yes.
Certainly emotionally,
Yes.
with us being able to manage the eczema now. Before we just weren't even managing the symptoms. It was really getting quite stressful for Solomon and stressful for us.
The symptoms were all just merging into life, weren't they really? There wasn't ever a gap, he wasn't ever well. And it just has made the situation for Solomon more tolerable. Do you think so? You feel much better now? Good.
And it's given us some tools that we can use straight away rather than having to seek advice from other people in order to sort of decide ourselves what we might need at that particular time.
Good. So, how would you like HET to work with children now?
God, continue doing what it's doing, because it's always, we use it still now, don't we? So everything that it's still doing would like to carry on, because it helps to, not only with Solomon and his condition, but with the other children coping with him, because he takes a lot of attention and a lot of time still. So for the whole family as a whole, it helps to, for the other children to be accepting of it and for them to cope with what he's going through. And I would like that to carry on, but also just as things change and as children change, and our situation is fraught at the moment anyway, but as they get older and their emotions change and things, I intend using it throughout the whole of their lives to help them cope with whatever they come across. And I don't want to go back to using conventional medicines and treatments at any time, so I'd like to use it as an alternative to that as well.
That's lovely, thank you. Well, what I'd like to do is to go through a questionnaire with both of you. One sort of from a mum or dad or carer's point of view. So it's the questionnaires are slightly different because as educators we look for slightly different things. So if one of you would be so kind as to kind of be the mum or dad on this situation, and the other of you coming at it more from the educator's point of view, so we get a more rounded perspective of how who is it that we're going to talk. Say if we talk about, it doesn't sound right, does it? But who is it we're going to try and help today in particular?
Well, it's Solomon obviously, because yesterday and last night he had a really bad time with his eczema. Right. So
what you were well?
Pardon?
But you as well, do you think?
But you were quite interested in doing HET.
But I was quite well. Rissy was quite well. But it was very stressful for Solomon, and he was quite ill this morning. He didn't get into his pyjamas until quite late recently.
So you think we need to focus on Solomon? No, okay.